So I've been very successful. I have my PhD. But I'm a dismal failure in some other ways. I can't get rid of the memories, as hard as I tried. There was a guy named Brigham. I don't know his first name because I can't remember it. He was in 1st Platoon, I was in 2nd Platoon. I was with Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Infantry, which is now that same battalion is out here in Fort Carson. You familiar with 1st Battalion, 8th Infantry?
I do. I wasn't part of it, but I do know.
Yeah, I was in Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Infantry, 2nd Platoon, 2nd Squad. I want to go out to the barracks at Fort Carson, and I want to find 2nd Platoon, 2nd Squad.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, but I want to do that. Maybe before you guys go back. Because you're with 1st and the 8th Infantry, right?
Worked right next door.
Yeah. So I want to, but anyway, Brigham. So Brigham said, I'm going to re-up because my wife just had a baby and I want to go home and see my baby. He was in 1st Platoon, I was in 2nd Platoon, but we were friends. So he took a chopper and he flew back to base camp, Dragon Mountain, as we call it, the 4th Division base camp, Central Highlands. This was fall of 1967. Monsoon had just ended, it was drying out. It was cool in the woods, actually. It was nice. As nice as Vietnam could have been. So he came back a couple of days later. So we said, well, what happened, Brigham? And he said, the motherfuckers didn't want to let me re-up unless I took a burst of 3. Okay? And I said, no, I want to re-up only for 2 years. I don't know how he got it into his head that he could re-up for 2 years, because that was an impossibility. But he got really angry and he said, I'm not going to re-up. I'm not going to sign on the dotted line because you're not going to give me the 2 years that I want. So there he is. He's back with the company out there. That night, we conducted a company-sized ambush, and we were set up on both sides of a large trail under the canopy.
Now that's a very big deal.
Yeah, a big deal. I mean, this trail was about 15 feet wide. It was like a highway where they had been, just pushing hundreds of men through there with all kinds of ammunition and supplies. So we were going to ambush this column that was supposed to come through, the North Vietnamese. And they were good. They were actually in some ways much better than we were, because as soon as they got near us, their scouts detected our presence. So they turned around and hauled ass, got away. Well, the next day the colonel comes down in his chopper and he says, we got to go after those guys. So the company pursues this column of fleeing North Vietnamese. And we end up at a base of a hill. And there's a bunker complex up and down the sides of this hill and up on top. So we go online. Now this is a company of about 100 men because we're always under strength, right? Platoons have maybe 15, 20 guys in them, instead of the usual. What's a platoon supposed to be? The size of a platoon? 30, 40, 50 guys, whatever, okay? So we go up this hill. And Lieutenant Bird, he's the FO, I still remember his name, the forward observer. He's calling in the red light. And somehow Lieutenant Bird, who's supposed to be a pretty good forward observer, he screws up, I guess. I never found out. But there's a battery of 105s and all 5 tubes fire simultaneously, and the rounds land on top of us. Okay. Now we're traveling along, and there's this bamboo up on top, and you can hear the rounds hitting the bamboo just a split second before they detonate. Okay. And I heard that. But there was this termite mound, this thing about, 7, 8 feet high. It's made out of hardened mud that termites have dug up from underneath the ground with their saliva. They've mixed it together, and they've made this cement-like mound. It's like cement. It's that hard. So there's this termite mound, and as soon as I hear these rounds coming through the bamboo, I duck down behind this termite mound, and the rounds detonate. So it's an airburst. and I'm protected by the termite mound. Nothing happens to me. I mean, the concussion is terrible and the explosion is terrible, and it's happening about maybe from here up to where that bar is, you know. But the guys on the other side of the termite mound are all dead or wounded, including Brigham. All right. So after we recover, platoon sergeant says, "Get over here. Start picking up these guys." So I go over there and I start picking up dead and wounded guys with holes in them and so on. And then I come to this steel pot lying on the ground. It's all shredded up with shrapnel. It's lying, you know, upside down on the ground. And inside there's a, you know, the gore details, huh? They got to come out. There's this mush that looks like scrambled eggs and ketchup, basically. It's Brigham's brains. Okay, there he is lying on the ground. His top of his head is just shredded, cut off. This was the day after he came back, trying to re-up to get out of the army or to get out of the field to go back home and see his baby. That's one of the things that broke my heart. I've always felt guilty about that. Okay, there's no logical reason, but you know, I see Brigham all the time. He comes at night and he wakes me up. You know, and I'm getting tired of this son of a bitch. But he does, you know. And I went to the wall and I found his name. And I touched his name on the wall, and I said, "Look, you gotta leave me alone." You know what I mean? But see, he doesn't. Okay, I'm a really intelligent guy, and I'm, you know, I'm sophisticated. I've been a college teacher and all that. I'm just saying that because you can have, you know, one side of your life that's like that, and then you can have another side of your life that's entirely different. And you don't have any control over it. I don't care how much therapy you go through. I don't care how strong your willpower is. You know, none of that. You know, and that's what I'm living with. You know, I've learned how to deal with it. I guess that's the only thing that we can do is learn how to deal with it. You know, you can't make it go away. Right? I tell this story. I told this story many times.
Here I go. Can I get it?
Every time I tell the story, I think, oh, this is it. I'm going to exorcise that demon forever. It's going to leave me, you know, but it, you know, it doesn't. Okay. And the guilt, you know. I don't feel guilty about killing any of the enemy. You know, we all did that. What I feel guilty about is that I lived and Brigham didn't. You know. And why? You know, that was just in the cards, right? And like Jay says, you know, I'm always feeling guilty that I'm not doing good enough in this present life. I say to myself, oh, you're moping. You're feeling sorry for yourself. You're dwelling on the past. You can't let go. You can't forgive yourself. You know, all that stuff. I go to the VA vet center, you know, and they say the same things to me, right? But it doesn't work. And it's time that I got over that. On the, you know, on one level, I feel that. But on the other level, I guess every time I tell the story of Brigham, it's kind of like I'm honoring him.
But Joe, you know, you don't get over this.
No, you don't.
You live with it.
Yeah.
And you hobble around and do the best you can.